Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final week of TV in review of 2016. And tonight we will be discussing 4 shows, because I'm not going to forget MacGyver this time.
I'm not going to call it Matlock.
I'm not going to call it Matlock this week. But this week we will be discussing Aftermath, Lethal Weapon, Frequency, and Matlock. Ash! You did it! You made me say MacGyver! Oh my god! Where am I getting that from?
I don't know, like they're not even the same stuff. Like they're totally different shows.
Totally different shows. They don't even have the same theme. I watched both of them growing up though because my stepmom loved both shows. But either way, if you've not watched this previous week, last week's shows, go ahead and turn us off now and come back in 4 hours and listen to what we had to say. Because there'll be spoilers ahead.
Wait. Spoilers! I'm a dork.
I am too, so it works.
I'm a dork with a sinus headache.
Oh, those are the worst.
I'm just gonna be like this all episode. It'll be fine.
I'm hoping in January to be getting some new glasses, so I will stop going like this every 5 minutes because I can't see.
These ones are my new glasses, and they're so dirty. Like
did you get those from? Did you get those from Zenny?
From glasses.com?
Oh, that's the other one somebody linked me to, yeah.
Yeah. I have a review on my blog with the links and everything.
Ah, cool. I found a pair, they're really cute. They're bright blue and a little bit thicker frames than these, and they're really pretty, and I'm like, those are the ones I want. $50, they're sold.
I got these because they reminded me of Jones's glasses.
Yes, I can see that. I don't know. I picked these. I picked these out 4 years ago because I absolutely loved the design on the arms. They're like a rosy pink color. I don't know. I just liked them, but they're old. They're like, wow, they're really filthy right now. So I'm going to clean them. Oh. Okay, so Aftermath. Instead of us talking about our glasses and other fun things,
comparing our blindness.
Aftermath. Completely blind. I can't even see the computer screen right now.
I can see about 4 inches clearly without my glasses. I'm so divided on this most recent episode because, like, on the one hand, it sort of feels like it's finally getting somewhere.
Yeah,
but on the other hand, I have no idea what's going on.
I know, because like at the same time they touched on stuff from the past, like the what happened in Seattle. We finally got to find out what happened in Seattle, sort of.
It was a black hole sun.
Black hole / white whirlwind. What the I don't know. It was called the White Whirlwind.
Every time they showed it, my brain just went black hole sun.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, what do you get? We're 80s kids.
It's from the 90s anyway.
Close enough.
80s kids were old enough to appreciate the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
We're first millennials. I'm gonna make t-shirts.
I'm a millennial. But yeah, they touched back on the black hole, what happened up in Seattle, and there were a couple of other things, like when the dad was hallucinating, that they were touching on other things that had happened in the past, like his conversation with the doctor at the his former colleague.
Yeah,
he got fired.
Putting the pieces together, but when he became conscious again, he didn't know what they were.
Yeah. Oh. Shoot, that has a hole in it. Shit, that's not good. Wonder when that happened. Oh, good thing I have tape.
My very first note for it's true. My very first note for this week is no one can say this show isn't pretty because that first shot in the very opening with the moon.
Yes. Oh my god, that was gorgeous.
It's so great looking.
I
mean, they're all gonna die in 2 days, but it's gorgeous.
In 2 days, unless they find Moondog. Who, I'm sorry, I'm standing by it. They totally ripped off the name Moondog from Three Dog off of the Fallout game. The Fallout 3. It's totally ripped off because Three Dog is the voice on the radio that the character in Fallout 3 follows all the way to Washington, D.C. to try while he's trying to find his dad, her or his, depending on how you play, dad. And then all of a sudden, the family in the bus, the RV on Aftermath are following Moondog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
it's
sorry.
Funny that it's Moondog when the final thing is the moon exploding.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will all come together.
I hope so, because, yeah. I think my mom finally gave up on it.
We're super close to the end now. There's only like 2 more episodes.
I think this tonight or last night and next week. Which we will cover those episodes when we come back after the holidays, people.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Because we're going to do some random shows over the next 3 weeks. Somehow. I don't know. It threw me when they were drugging the dad. They were trying to put him to sleep so he would stop like going crazy. That Dana knew how much. Yeah, Dana knew how much of the drug to give their dad from the Michael Jackson autopsy.
Yeah, like she casually just randomly likes to read autopsies.
Right? I'm like, that's just a pure blind luck there, wasn't it?
Like the mom even was like, "Oh, you're a doctor now."
Right?
But I mean,
goes, I know, I read MJ, I know about Michael Jackson's autopsy. And the brother's just like, I guess swear the actors don't even know what the fuck the writers are going to have them say each week.
Right?
Like,
did you notice the Mood Swing sisters were all holding hands and being caring again?
I did notice that. And you know, it's hilarious. I was sitting there. I have a note here. It says straight out, this is somebody's fan fiction.
It kind of is.
This is like somebody's post-apocalyptic fan fiction. That is the whole feel of this show to me.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense, and that might be why I like it, even though it's a disaster.
Exactly, because it's like fan fiction. Ooh, I can sit and enjoy this. I could write
it's like that better. 50K fanfic that just goes right off the rails and you keep reading it anyway.
Yes, exactly. I have a couple of those that I'm still reading from like 6 years ago. We got some statistics that the fever, the plague, whatever it has killed 1/3 of Earth's population.
Yeah. And a couple episodes ago, they said that they lost track of other cities, so they knew it was global anyway.
Yeah.
The moon, it's going to be global regardless.
Yep, it's going to be very global. It's going to be a ELE. Extinction level event.
It's true.
I know too much about this stuff.
The whole show exists so that they can write Moondog's dialogue, because that is the most fun part of anything that has words in the show.
Yeah, seriously, it's like the only part of the show that actually makes sense.
Which is funny because he's speaking in metaphors and it shouldn't make sense.
Right?
What else do I have to say? I was wondering if all of the sick people were connected, but I guess it turns out that they're connected. I guess that girl, the reporter lady, was...
She knew stuff, and now she's gone, so that was useful.
Yeah, like she sort of delivered half of something, but nobody knows what yet.
Yeah, it's like she gave us something and then she's gone.
They actually
Bye-bye.
physically called that the rapture, but then it gave back some people to deliver information.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Away again. Because there was her, and then there was the husband.
The husband, the
who,
crazy
by the way,
husband who kept calling it the White Whirlwind.
Pretty sure that actor was Walter from Stargate.
Oh my gosh, was it?
It looked like him.
Alright.
I mean, I don't think you really see his face clearly at any point, but it looked like him.
I'm sure we can find it out, though. Come on, computer. You are not freezing yet. We just started.
That would be super rude, computer.
It would be super rude for you to freeze right now.
He was also on Timeless like 3 weeks ago, so they must all be filmed in the same place, and he's just getting
probably. Well, as NBC told me, they own both channels, so they can do whatever they want.
That's true. It makes me want to live in Toronto or Vancouver, though, because then like half the population will just be people having to do with shows that I like.
Yeah. Do we remember the husband's name? Was it Barry?
This headache is making my one eye squinty. I'm looking like a pirate over here. Trying not to be spoiled by the show downstairs.
Oh, I feel that. Why does this name seem familiar? What have you done that I know? Why do you seem familiar?
I hope that they get around to like what is the purpose of an adept.
Yeah, I was really hoping we get some more information on that as well.
Because like just going, you're an adept, and giving him visions a couple of weeks in a row doesn't really help much.
No,
if they don't tell us what it's for.
Can you give us some more information about this?
Is he going to save the world? Is the son going to turn out to save the world? Is the family as a whole going to save the world?
Right?
Since no matter what happens, they wind up coming back together, which is good because they're constantly splitting up inadvisedly.
Yeah, and then, oh, lucky day, the girl that the brother saves from hanging herself, lucky, she has Tetra.
Right, like everything is so convenient that it's got to be orchestrated. Otherwise, it's bad writing.
Like I said, it's fan fiction. Because this is exactly how I would have written a fan fiction when I was like 13, 14 years old.
I wonder if they stole someone's fanfic.
Like, is there somebody who is right down to the boyfriends dying 2 days after the girls met them, and nope, everybody's over that already.
Right?
Strangely, I haven't heard from her since.
Like we
as soon as that girl dropped in front of him, I was like, oh, there's the girlfriend he couldn't find.
Yeah,
because just like last week or the week before, they were like,
probably gonna die
this girlfriend.
This week, probably.
Unless she gets pregnant and has more of the family inside her.
Yeah, right.
This episode, there was that whole part in the middle that was really like those gross people were attacking Bree, making me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that did make me really, really uncomfortable. That was very, very close to like almost rape. It felt like that was a possibility.
It was like a metaphorical rape scene.
Right.
A really long time. There was a lot of like leaning on her and feeling all over her and her screaming for a long time.
Literally, they were holding her down on a mattress, and the one guy was like on top of her, and it was like,
like for a long time. I was watching that scene and I was just like, okay.
Can we move on?
I was right before that. I was like, it's nice that it never got into sexual violence with all the other things, and then of course there was
Spoke
that.
too soon.
They were like, "Oh right." People just automatically default to rapist during the end of the world. Of course, we forgot that.
It even happens in my book, though the guy dies. He gets his head blown off. It's pretty awesome. But
I don't know. I like pointedly avoided that in my last book that I finished.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been out of context or anything, but I'm just tired of those scenes and I didn't want to write one, so I just didn't even do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I wrote the scene in my book, I was tempted to let it go that far, but then I decided that no, my character had already been through quite a bit since just the beginning of the book, and I decided that she was going to smash him in the head with a can of food and then give him one last chance to leave because she's that kind of person, and then she blew his head off.
Well, she gave him his chance.
Yeah, she did. Well, I have a notification. Somebody named Tay liked a tweet. Taylor Hickson. Why do I know this? Why do I know this name? Why do I know this name?
Isn't that one of the people from the show?
I think that's Brianna. Yes, it is. Hello, Brianna. Taylor Hickson.
Hello, Brianna.
I was like, she actually
rape scene.
Yeah, that was horrible for you. I feel so bad for you. She actually, I noticed she likes tweets about our shows almost all the time. And when we get to frequency, I have some nods to give to some people.
It's true.
But we'll get to that in a few. Actually, we'll get to that next because I kind of want to hold Lethal Weapon for our last thing we're going to talk about today. Because it's
exclamation points in the notes, so
yeah, there's some major points in my notes too, and a lot of oh my god, my heart.
That'll be how we decide which show will go in which order. It'll be the one that has the most exclamation points goes last.
Yeah, the Lethal Weapon wins that award this week. To wrap up, they rescue Brianna. They've got Tetra from Sarah that they give to the dad, and the dad takes the medication and all better. He doesn't remember what the hell he was rambling about beforehand.
Of course, because there's still 2 episodes to go. It'd be convenient if they knew what they were doing.
Right, because next week is the season finale. Next Tuesday, while I'm away from a TV that I can watch the show on, because I don't think they have the Sci-Fi Channel. Because I asked her, and she says, I don't think we have the Sci-Fi Channel. And I'm like,
if they have regular cable, they should. It's a national basic cable company.
Yeah, I think they have the AT&T Uverse.
I don't know about that. They're sometimes missing random channels.
Yeah, but I think I remember watching Z Nation the last time I was there, so it's very possible that they do, and I just have to find a channel. I need to get around to watching those episodes of Incorporated. I think I'm 3 weeks behind now.
Yeah, I saw the commercial during this one. They were like, Incorporated, new show, and I was like, shit, I forgot about it again.
No, I'm 3 weeks behind on that, so I need to. I guess maybe when I get back from house sitting, I'll pull it off the DVR, the on demand, and watch them. Because thankfully, my Sci-Fi does have on demand, so I can go back and get shows. It was actually really funny. A few weeks ago, maybe back in the beginning of November, I got behind on Z Nation. And I lost an episode. It just it either didn't record or something. So I went to pull it off the on demand, but they had the same episode under 2 different titles. So I actually tweeted at Sci-Fi and I said, hey, you have the episodes wrong for Z Nation. You have one episode under 2 different titles. And they're like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about that, blah, blah, blah. You need to contact your cable provider. And I'm like, Okay, so I tweeted DirecTV, and I'm like, dudes, you have Z Nation wrong. You have such and such episode under 2 different titles, and I gave them all the information through Twitter, and they kept responding back to me, and they said, give us about 72 hours to fix it, and they did fix it.
Oh, cool.
I know. I was like, I really like Twitter for that.
I really like that too. Like, a year ago, I hurt both my hands on our stupid oven.
Ow.
Because they had an unfinished edge I didn't know about, and I tweeted about it, and they so sorry, and they like apologized and everything.
Yeah. There was another time when like the AC was off last summer that I started tweeting about it, and I kept tagging Southern Edison, which is our the people who control our AC, because they can turn it off if there's, they feel like there's going to be blackouts or something. And I tweeted about it. I said, why do you always turn off the desert? We're the hottest part of the state. Why do you always turn us off? And they're like, we're very sorry to inconvenience you, but you guys have the highest percentage of AC coming on at this such and such time, so it's logical. And they explained it to me. I know, like, it's because we're the hottest. Turn off the freaking beach cities or something. Jesus, at least they have an ocean breeze.
Just do it like this place and then this place.
Right? It's like every day it was us for like a week, and it was like 110, and I was like melting. It was horrible.
People can die in that temperature.
But it's actually funny. The guy running the Twitter told me how if it was too bad for us, how to actually interrupt the signal that turns our AC off. He pretty much just told me, go outside to your and figure out which switch your air conditioning is on, turn it off, count for 30 seconds to a minute, and then turn it back on, and the signal will have been interrupted and your AC will start working again.
Oh my goodness. Hope you didn't get in trouble for that, because if everybody saw that, just everybody did.
Oh no, he was private messaging me because I was trying to get information because the AC had been off for like 6 hours. And we couldn't get it to come back on, and he told me, oh, you should be back on by now. And I'm like, it's not. And that's why he came in and told me. He goes, the signal may be wonky, and this is how you can interrupt the signal at any time.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it was all private message. And now I've just like totally spilled the beans on our show to anyone in Southern California that has SoCal Edison.
When I lived in Orlando, one of the complexes we lived in had rolling brownouts. Like the TV would stay on, but the AC would go off.
Yeah.
Long. It was awful. Orlando is like, it's like living inside of a cauldron in the summer.
I remember when we lived, I lived in Illinois. We lived in a 2nd-story apartment, and the roof was flat and black tar. The roof was tar.
Why would they do that?
Oh, especially in Illinois. And it would get like 90, 98. I think the hottest I can remember was like 104, 105, which is hot, don't get me wrong. And then on top of that, in the Midwest, you have humidity, which is just like 100% humidity, 104 degrees. We never had air. We did not have AC. We didn't even have those little window units. Not until like the last year we lived in this apartment.
I feel like if it's 100% humidity, it should be currently raining. Like,
yeah, you would think so. It would make sense.
How can the water stay in the air at that point?
Right. And we were like suffering. We suffered all day. I was like, I got in, like, put my swimsuit on, and I put my little nephew. He was like 2, 3 years old when this happened. And we got in the bathtub with like cold water, and my mom dumped ice cubes in the tub with us. And I was like 13, 14, and Damien, my nephew, was like 2, 3 years old. And it was the only way we could cool off, because we lived in this tiny little apartment. We didn't have a pool or a hose or anything.
Yeah. And like little kids especially are bad. Like, that's bad temperatures.
Yeah. And they kept telling us, my mom kept calling, when's the power going to be on? When's it now? Oh, it'll be on soon. It'll be on soon. It'll be on soon. And like 8 o'clock, my mom finally started calling around to hotels, and she found a hotel room, and she rented it. And she sent me and my sister and Damien to the hotel, and she went to work because there's AC at her work, thank God. And me and my sister spent like 3 days at this hotel because the power didn't come back on for 3 days.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Every day? Yeah. It was miserable. But that's what you get when you live in the middle of fuck nowhere in Illinois. All right. So, frequency.
Frequency, where Raimi keeps making questionable choices.
Yeah, the whole, oh my God. The whole episode was like just full of questionable choices. I was just like, what? Raimi, Frank, what are you two doing?
I am not feeling the fiance anymore. Like,
no. Oh, I don't like him at all anymore. He can just go away.
I'm wondering if he was always this much of a scumbag and she just didn't notice before because she was on the inside.
I'm wondering if he was cheating on her. Because if he's cheating on his current fiance, yeah.
And like, he was all like, this is my favorite food. You got it right. I never open up to anyone. And then seconds later, he was just tossing the uneaten food in the trash like it was nothing. Like, he didn't even put it back in the bag and send her out with that. Like, he just threw it all in the trash.
Right. Yeah, I'm really just not. I liked him. I liked the fiance before. And now all of a sudden he is this massive douchebag.
No, I'm not feeling it. I'm hoping now.
I really hope she ends up with Detective Sexy Pants, who I know he has a name, and it is Kyle. No, wait, he's not Kyle. Fiance douchebag is Kyle, right?
Is Daniel. Sexy Pants is Kyle.
Oh yeah, I was right. Woohoo! But I like Detective Hot Pants. I really do. And I'm sorry, that's his name. And if he watches the show, I'm sorry. I know your name is Kyle on the show, but you're Detective Hot Pants because you're hot. And I'm a fangirl.
He was so much nicer to her, just in general.
He is. I love him.
She's so hung up on this version of Daniel that it's like in my notes I said it feels less like love and more like desperation now.
Right.
She's so desperate to cling on to the life that she doesn't have anymore.
Right, exactly.
And she's still being creepy about her insider knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the whole thing freaks me out so bad right now. I really hope we're not supposed to buy into it because they lost me this episode.
They really did. It was confusing. And then I was so right about Deacon Joe. I have to dance and celebrate that last week in my notes, I literally was screaming, he's the Nightingale. I mean, like, unless they're really trying to throw us off. Where is it? No, that's notes for Supergirl. Where is it? I don't know. I made a note and I said it. It's over there on the floor. I can't reach it. It's on the floor. But I said it last week. Deacon Joe is the Nightingale, and I was right. Unless they're somehow the son of Deacon Joe is the Nightingale, but I don't think so.
So surprised that they got to that so conclusively so soon.
Yeah, me too. But maybe they're gonna have a villain of the season type thing, like maybe. Supernatural, because that does seem the way CW does its shows.
It's true. Like maybe, but when they finally defeat him, there'll be some other killer who takes over.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, it's kind of sad because it's like you're Eric Green from Jericho. You're not supposed to be evil. You were the good brother.
Everybody loves playing villains, though.
Yeah, he does. I actually did notice that.
Today I was looking through my my old tweets on Time Hop,
Yeah.
was when Childhood's End and The Expanse premiered.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole section of my tweets that were complaining about how Cole Meany is always a jerk now.
I know. He's never a nice guy in anything anymore.
I miss Chief O'Brien. Was he just too nice for too long, being on two different shows?
Right? That's a possibility. He like snapped, I'm going to be a villain forever now.
Now he's just got to be shady all the time now.
Seriously.
Well, it also made me really miss The Expanse. I'm glad it's coming back soon.
Me too. If I can watch all of season 1 before season 2 airs, because Amazon Prime decided that instead of releasing it today till the 21st for me to stream, and I won't have access to Amazon Prime until the 6th. I think. I'm going to see if I can get it on their TV somehow, because they have ATT Universe, whatever it's called, Uverse. I'm wondering if I can put Amazon Prime on there and then like delete it when they leave. Maybe.
I don't know.
I'll try.
But the commercials say it's on demand, but free company.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there's only 10 or 13 episodes, so you can do it in one day if you really had to.
I think I checked that out with the Expanse is on demand supposedly on Netflix or on my TV, and it was like the last 5 episodes because I was like in the mood to watch The Magicians, which are also coming back here soon. And
most of the first season of that, I saw like 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's not even available on like any streaming platform as far as I know.
Ugh, inconsistent. Just put your shows up, people.
I know. They need to all just put everything on one. Please.
Everybody do it and stop taking your shows back to your own apps, which require me to sign in all these different times.
Right, because we can't. I have DirecTV, and I don't pay that bill, so I don't have access to that information, and I can't ask for access to that information. So can you please just like make it so I can go use your app without having to sign in and say, hey, I have DirecTV? Please, I'm begging you.
The CW app doesn't require signing in.
Not yet.
And like, I have Hulu, so just put shit on Hulu like you used to.
Yeah, or Netflix even, you know, because Netflix is supposed to be making some deal with the CW where their shows are going to drop sooner, and yet they didn't drop sooner. They literally dropped the day the new season started, and that really frustrated me because then I had to power watch Flash and Arrow just so I could watch the new seasons.
Netflix has been making deals like Travelers is coming out next week, where it was airing in Canada, and the second it's done, it drops to Netflix.
That's what they said that they were doing with CW, but I wonder if that's for this. It wasn't going to be for this last season that just that just dropped to Netflix, but it's going to be this season. As soon as it ends, they'll drop it to Netflix.
Maybe, and they were doing a thing.
If they do that, that's fine.
Shadowhunters last season, where as soon as it aired here, it would go to Netflix first before it hit Hulu or something. But that was only for out of country.
Okay.
Netflix overseas, you would get it, but we would have to wait till the whole season like any other show.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, okay, so Raimi, back on frequency. Let's get back on frequency instead of talking about our cable and the lack of ability for apps to work. We have done really good this week, and I said this is going to be a quick show.
One tangent per show.
Right.
I feel so bad for Megan. That's my biggest takeaway.
I know. Oh my God, I just want to just like hug her. I mean, she was my hug. I need to hug you character. It was like
Except she'd probably be scared of that.
Yeah, she probably would. I slid way down too far. Where the hell did my notes for frequency go? Oh, there it is.
But like, Where did Creepface take her?
Right? Where is she? Like, we need to find Megan because she deserves to have a happy life after the hell Deacon Joe has put her through.
Right? And being institutionalized, which
When she wasn't even, she wasn't even crazy.
cough, Jennifer Goines cough.
You did it. You drink. But yeah, I really do feel bad for Megan. And then at the end of the episode, we have Frank and Raimi are talking, and Frank is just like, no, and he turns off the intercom before Raimi can even respond to him.
Well, she's not gonna argue with him. I don't know what he was worried about, but
I don't know, but it was like, oh shit.
I hope that their reunion is real because this guy because he got her back, and then she's like, "No, we were stupid. We said we were stupid. We're still broken up." Like that's just gonna be.
I know.
So hard.
I really, really hope that Raimi's mom, who I know has a name, but it escapes me, and I apologize for this. I really hope that they work, even if it's not completely okay, that they're willing to work on their relationship. She's willing to try to work on things with Frank now.
Yeah, well, the whole bad choices montage at the end there, like, it seemed like Frank and Julie was a positive, while Daniel and Raimi, she came away feeling like it was not a positive.
Yeah, that was a negative because she basically slept with him and let him cheat on his fiancée.
Which he proposed to after sleeping with her anyway.
No, he proposed to her, after. He slept with her after he had proposed, right?
Yeah, after he kissed her, before he slept with her, but in between he proposed to the girlfriend anyway.
It's like, oh, I want to slap him. But on a high note,
so many aggravating choices. Just marry Gordo.
I know, it's like, let's marry Gordo. Yes, I love Gordo. And speaking of Gordo, he actually tweeted me this week. The actor tweeted me this week when I commented off schedule that I was going to be watching Frequency when I was doing my catch up on late last week. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. And I said, now it's time for Frequency, and that's all I said. And initially he liked the tweet, and I was like, oh yay, he liked the tweet. And then he tweeted at me, clapping his hands, and there's a little cloud with like a lightning bolt and a radio.
That's perfect.
I need to screen cap that and like somehow figure out a way to post it in the description on our page.
Gordo is the best.
Gordo is the best. I love Gordo. Raimi needs to be with Gordo, and I know Gordo is married and has a kid and all that, but Lenny Jacobson, you are awesome. You're adorable.
But she needs to just like be near him more. He's reasonable and he's normal. And
he kind of brings her down a few,
He really needs to be let in on the secret because he's really good at knocking the wind out her sails when she's about to go do something crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And then I want to say last Tuesday, it says December 7th, but I think that would be last Tuesday. No, last Wednesday, Riley Smith, Frank's actor, liked the tweet about the show.
Yay, Frank.
Yes. So, Frank. I like Frank. He makes some questionable choices, just like his daughter, but
I just told me everything. I was thinking about like Twitter interactions today, and it's ridiculous how quickly a show can win my heart just by tweeting at me once in a while.
Exactly.
It makes it personal.
Same way. Like I feel the same way, and it's like I only get tweets or responses from Jonathan Fernandez. He plays Scorsese on Lethal Weapon. But like I literally tweeted at him. I just tweeted at him because I saw he was on tweeting about Lethal Weapon. So I tweeted at him and I said that I hate that I have to wait till tomorrow to see tonight's episode, though I can't wait to see it. And he just responded with "Dang!" It was like adorable. And then
He does. On Hulu, they have a behind the scenes thing where he's the host. He goes and talks to people about stuff.
Yeah, and then like 10-20 minutes later, Chandler Kinney, she plays Rihanna on Lethal Weapon, liked that tweet that I tweeted at Jonathan Fernandez.
Neat.
I know, it's like, what the hell is happening? Why are you people liking me? It's like nothing
we're awesome.
The first time Aaron Stanford tweeted me back where I literally gasped and sounded like I was choking, but
Right. The one time he tweeted me directly, like I don't even know what happened for like 10 minutes of the show because I was just like
I was so glad that I had watched 12 Monkeys. They did that this season. They did that early release of the first episode. And I was like really glad that night that I had already watched it because when that happened, I missed like 20 minutes of the show.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's killing me. I need January 17th to be here already so I can buy me season 2.
I know. I need those deleted scenes, if nothing else.
Same. Deleted scenes.
My Christmas list, but it's like, why am I gonna put it there when it's not out for another month after that?
Right? Same here.
So, Nightingale is discovered but missing again.
Yeah, we know who the Nightingale is. He obviously killed his wife, possibly his stepson, and he's kept his stepdaughter locked up in a mental institute most of her life.
He just killed her. What's the
right?
What's with that?
Why hasn't he just offed her to solve that problem?
I don't know. Like
it's like
the fairy tale.
Every criminal makes a
Bluebeard.
stupid mistake. Yeah.
You know the fairy tale Bluebeard, where the king loses the wife and tries to marry the daughter because she looks like the wife.
Oh, good God! Yes, I do know that one. I read a book based on that fairy tale.
So did I. It's called Deerskin.
Yes! Oh my God! Thank you. I have been trying to figure out the title of that book for years after I read it because
that book is so good.
Yes, I'm writing it down up here on my notes right now, and I'm gonna find it and reread it because I loved that book the first time I read it. And you know what's funny? The only reason I picked it up is because it had a dog on the cover.
Robin McKinley is amazing. She's one of my favorite writers. All of her books are fantastic.
Yes. Oh my God, I loved that book, and I think it was like, and at the same time, I read this whole other series of books where the people had wolves as like their soulmates almost, and they wore gems in their skin, and it was weird. And I loved this series, and I've never been able to figure out what the series was. Like I read the first 3 books in the series, and I've like Googled wolf soulmate gems in your tummy. Like they wore a gem in like their belly button. It was weird. And they all had like magical powers that were based off their wolf, and it was really good. And I can't find it. So if anyone like listening to this like has read a book that's similar to that, like get back to me, like be like, hey dude, this is the series you're talking about. But yeah.
there was a book that my teacher read to me in 5th grade, called The Boy with the Bronze Axe, about Skara Brae and I have never been able to find that book anywhere. I almost think maybe the teacher made it up.
I feel you. I can't feel you so bad on that. for years. I read this book when I was like in junior high, and it was about this wolf who lived with his pack of wolves, but the wolves had stopped howling because the evil god of wolves had demanded that no wolves howl anymore because he couldn't howl, the god wolf. So he's like, no wolves can howl. But this one wolf in the story, he's like, I'm going to howl whether I'm allowed to or not. And he went out and he left his pack after they beat the crap out of him. And he found a mate and they both howled. And then they had puppies and the puppies howled. And because they howled, the good wolf god was able to come back and take control of the being god again. And it was really cool. It was based on a Native American legend. And for years, I couldn't remember the title of the book, nothing about it, nothing. And then one day I just like typed in legend, like wolf can't howl because of the gods. And it came up and I had the title of the book and I had the author. And of course the book was out of print. So there was no buying it offline anywhere. And like for years, I was like, I'm never going to have this book again. And I loved it so much. I found it for 25 cents at Goodwill.
What? Oh my gosh. My favorite story about
number 3, ladies and gentlemen.
My favorite story about finding a book. That same teacher had read me a book called Hawk and Silver because she used to read. She used to read to us, even though it was 5th grade and she didn't need to anymore. And it was so good. And then randomly, after we had moved back to the States, like 3 years later, one of my friends was like, I'm supposed to be getting rid of all this stuff. Do you want some books and comics? And she just brought me like a stack of things. And one of the books was Hawk and Silver, which has never been published in America. So I don't know how she got it.
I was so happy to find it. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, literally, we were getting ready to leave Goodwill. And the Goodwill that I had when I lived in Oregon, this is where I found it. It had like this table that was just like full of books. And I was just like, while we were waiting in line to check out, I was digging through the books just to see if there was anything that caught my eye. And they had one of those plastic crates under the table. And it was also full of books. And just sitting right there on top of the books was that book.
So cool.
And I was just like, I was so happy to see it. I literally like read it that night. I'm like, oh my God, I love this book.
Oh my goodness. Like periodically I just suddenly desperately need to get these books I read when I was a kid. And most recently I found like I really wanted to read the My Teacher books again over the summer. And I didn't own any of them.
Yeah.
So I went on eBay and found a whole box of Bruce Coville books for like $5. There was 12 books in there, and it happened to be the entire My Teacher series as well as some other ones I hadn't read yet.
Awesome.
This box of kids books. Sometimes you just really need a middle grade sci-fi adventure.
I read this author whose entire series of books are no longer in print. So they're very, very hard to find books. And most of them were written back in like the 1920s and 30s. He wrote Lad a Dog. No? That's like his most famous book. It's the only one that ever got made into a movie. He writes books about the collies that lived on his farm in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. And I started collecting the books with Lad a Dog, which I thought at the time when I read Lad a Dog, I thought it was the only book this guy ever wrote. It turned out he wrote like 30-something books, and it's really hard to come by. And it's like really fun to try to find the first edition copies of his books because they're the only one that come in this weird like the covers were hand sewn together, and then they were burn stamped with this picture of 2 collies. That is the only copies of these books that he released were the first editions, were the only ones done like this. So every time I was like, the other day we went through a thrift store and I was just walking along and I saw the burned image of the 2 collies just like out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, literally, like, please tell me this is what I don't have.
Wait, let me. I collect these. Can you see the logo?
Yes. Yes.
They're like the perfect size for like any classic books I want to read.
Mhm.
I want to find them in this
Yeah.
volume. And they're so
Oh, I
pretty.
wish I could move boxes right now. I wish I could. I will, the first show back, I will make sure I have one of those dog books here because I have to show you the cover so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't think I have one that's like within grabbing range. No, I think they're all in those boxes that are right here, back here behind me.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the show.
Back to that was rant number 3.
Rant number 3.
Woo, we're awesome.
One day we'll edit these and we'll put the rants separate, and then you can just listen to us going off about books for 20 minutes. And
I still say sometime, because I figure we're only going to get like 2 more shows in, like while I'm gone, because, you know, New Year's Eve is a Saturday and Christmas Eve is also a Saturday. So I figure we're just going to get like 2 more shows in this year. I figure maybe like the first show in the new year, we should do something where we just sit and talk about books.
I think we should.
I think it'd be fun.
We have
Like, I'm just gonna have like a stack of books here that I get to show off, my like little first editions and stuff, because I'm obsessed about collecting first editions.
Cold. We can talk about our favorite books and the best books we read this year, because I have.
Yes.
Can you see this stack right here where you can see the ends of the books? That's all the books I've read this year.
You've got me beat because I've literally probably read about 40 books this year. But like 6 of those were the Clan of the Cave Bear books, and then another like 4 of those were the Game of Thrones books. So it's like I read a lot of really fat books this year.
Yeah, I read a lot of books for review. Those are mostly books I read for review. So it's a lot of new books, a lot of first books. Large number of books that are both sci-fi and fantasy, which is unexpected.
Yeah.
Usually I see novels and sci-fi short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sci-fi works better in short form.
Yeah, I agree. I want my author friend David P. Forsythe to get off his butt and release the 3rd book in his Meteor Apocalypse series, Impact. I need it now.
Oh my gosh. I get so impatient, and then I get mad at myself because I'm like, you know exactly how long it takes to write a book. So shut up and let them write the book.
Shut up, right? I mean, it's been 3 years on my book, so I don't have any room to talk, but it frustrates me.
2.5 years to write my novel, which became a trilogy.
Right.
And then another year to edit it.
Right. It's like, I know, I get frustrated with him because I'm waiting on the 4th book in one of his series, the 3rd book in the Meteor series that I desperately need the next bit of the book because it's like, and then he sits there and he goes, I have this great idea for this new book I'm working on. And I'm like, no! I want to grab him and shake him. I'm like, stop!
That's like me. Like, I'm going to try to turn this again. Like, all of those little ones, those are all potential books that I haven't written yet.
I'm not going to get this in close to the screen. Okay, you see all this writing? On and on. I mean, I have 4 of these. These are all potential books.
Yeah.
These aren't even the one I'm writing on the computer.
I've started just putting everything on here like a bulletin board, but this is actually supposed to be my pipeline because, like, it's literally divided into working on right now, coming up, editing, someday, finished.
Okay, yeah, that is that one. Okay, I was wondering which book that was. I was just showing you. I think that was the werewolf one. Yeah, that's the werewolf one. I have a blind werewolf. It's kind of interesting.
I am not super keen on werewolf stories generally, but I actually have a werewolf story to write myself.
Yeah, mine is a family lives in Wolf's Creek, Oregon. Ha ha ha! I'm so original. And they're generational. They're born as werewolves, but the youngest member of the family, my main character, Jeremy, while goofing around with his best friend, held a firecracker up to his face while it was lit, and it blew up in his face and blinded him, or partially blinded him. He's not completely blind. But yeah, it's a fun little story. I don't know if I'll ever actually finish it or do anything with it, but it's just fun. Okay, frequency.
Bad life choices.
Frequency.
Not on board with the romance.
I am not on board with the romance except for Frank. I want Frank and Laura. Laura? Is that right? Lisa?
Julie is the wife.
Julie! Yay, okay. Julie. I'm okay with Julie and Frank because that's not like any cheating. Yeah. There was no cheating, so.
And also, since it turned out that Maricela sold him out, then that's less of a problem too, because then they're clearly not on the same side.
Right. That makes me happy because I really didn't like that Maricela was around and being all like, "Oh, Frank." I'm like, "Go away, bitch. He's trying to fix his life. Go away. He don't need you.
Yeah,
go away."
Unless she's having his baby or something, like.
Oh God! Please don't reveal that show. Please don't go that cliche.
That's what I'm saying. I actually like it better that she's trying to move into the power vacuum, because there's so few women that do that on TV, and it makes her character much more interesting than just showing up out of nowhere going, "I have your baby."
Yeah. Right, exactly. She's actually trying. She's being a more interesting character, so I will give her that. Yeah.
Maybe she'll succeed and she'll be the queen pin when they get rid of Stan.
Yeah.
Stan the creepy man. Let's see. I think that's most of my notes. Aside from Raimi needs to start acting like a cop when she's busting into places.
Yeah.
By that she heard a sound inside, giving her probable cause.
Right? It's like, no, that's
then
not
all
how
that evidence,
works, Raimi.
All that actual real evidence is going to be inadmissible, as Satch said. And once again, they really need to let Satch in on it.
Yeah, they do. They need to let Satch and Gordo in on the secret.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
Speaking of people on the shows liking things, Sakina Jaffrey just liked one of my timeless tweets.
Yay!
I like her. She has her character is always super more interesting.
Fun. Yeah. It's always so much fun. I'm pissing off the Walking Dead fandom this week because I'm literally, everyone's all going on and on about how it's Rosita's fault that so-and-so got taken away and blah, blah, blah. Because I'm not going to give spoilers because there are still people who have not watched this week's episode. Last week's episode, whatever. And I'm just sitting there and going around, it's all Carl's fault. Coral left the house. It's all Coral's fault.
Coral's always a problem.
Coral, you should have just stayed home, because if Coral had stayed home, Negan wouldn't have come to Alexandria, and none of that shit would have happened.
He's never in the house.
The person who died is Coral's fault. Well, one of the people who died is Coral's fault. The other one, he would have ended up dead no matter what happened because he was just a jackass.
What was I gonna say about that?
That's my
I
2
really want
cents on
that
the
show
Walking
to
Dead.
just sooner or later. I want that show to just hand itself off to the kids. Like
Yes.
adults are just gonna get themselves killed because they're all morons or jerks
Yeah.
or psychopaths.
Well, what was it? Robert Kirkman just said like a couple weeks ago, he literally said that Rick could die now because Coral has come into his own.
Ooh, if Rick dies, people are gonna riot. That might be the death knell for the show.
Yeah, it might be. Well, you know, it's been pretty heavy with Glenn dying at the beginning of this season, so.
Yeah, that like severely divided the fandom. Like, I'm not even
It
watching
really
the show,
did, and
it's
like
crazy.
people still are bitching about it. Like I had to unfollow someone on Twitter the other day, literally because all they did was bash every fandom I'm in.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, like they bashed Walking Dead, which is like everybody does it on occasion. Even I bash it on occasion because there are times when the show is just stupid.
Because they're really good at pissing off their own fans.
Exactly, but it was like he said something about oh look, what a surprise, we have another gay female character in the DCU verse, and because of Alex coming out as gay, and I'm like, so?
What do you mean another? That's like one?
Sarah.
One on that show?
Yeah, but they're counting the entire universe, and
so
I guess they're like, oh, we have 2. I'm like, get over yourselves.
2 in 4 shows that each have 9 main characters. Oh no.
And then there was like, he was all bashing 100 because he's like, oh, they only killed off Lincoln because his character, the actor is gay. And I'm like, the actor isn't gay. What? Because your issues. So I just like, I was done with it and I'm like, bye-bye. I'm like drawing on my...
to highlight your annoyance.
Yeah, my annoyance right here. See ya? You caused these idiots. Okay.
I'm aiming for those giant ones that go all the way up to your hairline when I'm old. Like,
yes. I might actually pull it off. Look at that. I might. Look at that. Right there.
Yeah, like. Because like my scar from getting hit by the car is right there, so like that part of my forehead doesn't move much.
Oh, nice.
There's a flat spot right there, so I think that I could do it. Like,
I have a like, it's like somewhere like right here. You can usually see it in like pictures, but I have this little like line like right here from falling on ice when I was ice skating, and I literally split my skull. It was fun.
Ooh.
Right through the skin. And like, according to everybody who was with me, you could see stuff. I don't know.
Ew.
I don't remember it happening.
When I was hit by the car, I don't know how bad I looked because my glasses were gone, and I didn't see myself until after they'd cleaned me up. But came running after we called home and threw up when she saw me. So.
Yeah, the hilarious thing is where the ice split my head. Like a year later, my sister tossed a trash bag off our back porch with a glass cranberry juice bottle in the bottom of it, and it smacked me in the exact same spot and knocked my ass out again.
Yeah.
Another piece to the puzzle of why I can't remember shit, like names. All right, so except for bad life choices, I think we've covered everything about frequency beyond our rants in between.
Like, this was an important plot episode, but there's not a whole lot to talk about other than going, Raimi, no, Raimi.
Raimi, stop! Raimi, what are you doing?
Raimi! Listen to Gordo!
Okay, MacGyver. I called the right thing.
Like, shaking her shoulders and be like up here.
Stop it! Oh my gosh. Okay, so MacGyver, and it was so cute at the beginning of the episode because we
the whole episode was so cute.
I loved it. It was such a good episode, and it's like Was that the mid-season finale, or is that next week?
I think there's one more. I saw a commercial that said one more.
Yeah,
they have to start World War III next week.
16th. Yeah, December 16th. So Friday. I will try to watch that before I leave, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. My notes just froze, so that means the computer's about to go. Give me a second. Come on, open.
Yeah, we'll just all these finales that we're not going to get to in the next week or so. We'll just talk about them all
when we get back from
the
Christmas vacation. Oh,
because
shit, I forgot I was plugged into the speaker over there.
Before our shows come back, that we can just talk about all the cliffhangers and how much we hate cliffhangers.
Yes, we can.
I hate cliffhangers because it is a subject that I will never get tired of complaining about.
Oh my gosh. Come on. All right. Computer has froze, so I am switching over to the tablet while I bring the computer back up, all right?
Okay. Joy Dawson joined us call next.
I think that actually worked this time. I think that actually worked this time. It did.
Except that I can hear you both ways.
Hold on. The computer just went off. That should have kicked me out.
Yeah, it just went dark.
Okay.
It's still amazing how much more light your
I know. I wish I could do the whole show on the tablet, but the connection is so wonky on the tablet for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because that first time I did the show, it was just fine, and then after that, it didn't want to do the show.
I was thinking of trying doing mine like from bed because I didn't want to get out of bed because of this headache. I was like, I'll just lay there like this with my tablet. But
go that way, computer, because you're gonna go off to the side, so I don't have to sit here holding this tablet the whole time. I'm gonna. There we go. There we go. I think that worked. Did that work? Yes. Okay. I can see much more of me too when I'm on the tablet.
My notes are too far away.
My notes are still on the laptop, but
my writing is so small that like I could see these ones, but this was the furthest one away where I had it.
No.
And that's MacGyver notes, so I couldn't actually see what I had said.
What are you yelling about? The other me left the call. Okay.
The other me.
Tablet. Little delayed there, tablet. I was plugging it in so the battery doesn't die on me. Okay, so Team MacGyver was going on like a mini vacation, and that was so cute to me at the beginning of the episode. I was just like,
I fully intended to just do like a family vacation.
Totally a family vacation, and then the little girl gets abducted, and she was so cute.
She was super cute. She was like, they need to. How old was she? She was like 12.
12, something like that. Yeah.
So the show needs to last like 5 years so that she's old enough to hire.
Join.
She was too cute.
Yes, we need the show, and it has to be the same little actress in like 5 years.
Yes, that would be awesome.
It would be. I would be down.
Oh man, this episode though, like, despite it being super MacGyver backstory-ish and super Bozer, super cute, like my favorite part is still Jack. Like,
yes, Jack for the whole episode. He was just great.
Like, he had the two best lines. He had the line where he was just naming off all MacGyver if he was a Pokemon. Like, for no reason. He's just talking about Pokemon.
Naming Pokemon.
Nerdosaur.
Nerdosaur, yes.
Rainmander.
Yeah, Rainmander.
I like, and then at the end, he had that part where he's like, "Oh, she's just always mad at me. It's fine."
Yeah.
About Thornton.
I had such a laugh when their phones all rang, and it was that that doom music.
Yes.
It was great.
They all had the same ringtone for her.
I know, it's like, wow.
But poor Thornton, she's just trying to herd these cats, and they're not being herdable.
You want to go to the Christmas tree, dude?
She should have gone on vacation with them.
She should have. That would have been awesome.
It would have been hilarious watching her crammed into the back seat or something too. Like,
It would have been. I agree.
oh my goodness! And Bowser called Riley his girlfriend, and she was like, "What?" And
Yes.
nobody else even blinked.
I know. They're like, yeah, you're his girlfriend. You can't argue that, Riley. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's got like 4 per digits.
I know. Actually, I think he has like 6. I think he has like 6 digits at this point.
I keep meaning to keep track and then keep forgetting to do it because the show is just too fun, and then I forget.
I know. It's like I love all the characters. Actually, it was really funny. I was looking for something to watch this morning. I was like kind of bored, and I was looking at the TV, and MacGyver, old MacGyver, was on all day. He was like marathoning on like one of like FXD or something like that. And I'm like, I should watch this so I can compare it to the new MacGyver. And then I'm like, but I don't want to ruin the new MacGyver because the new MacGyver is so fun.
It's so good though. Like I was not expecting to like it so much.
I really was not either. I was like, about it. Like, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. We'll see, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I really got into it. It's like that and Lethal Weapon. Those are like the top 2 shows for me that have come out this season. Because like with
I know, I'm like,
but at the same time, it pisses me off a lot. And with Aftermath, it just pisses me off constantly.
I feel like frequency is about difficult people being difficult, and the fact that they're lovable doesn't make them less difficult.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you guys are awesome, don't get me wrong, because I get this feeling now that maybe somebody out there might be watching us, and that scares the hell out of me. I'm half tempted to just stay on the tablet for the rest of the show. It seems like it's behaving.
I mean, the sound is coming through kind of weird when we first switch over.
But it's okay now?
No, whenever we switch voices, it like goes out and then comes back and then goes out again. It's very strange. It's better than freezing.
Yeah, because this is just going to freeze again in like 20-30 minutes. So I think it might just be easier for me to stay on the tablet with no freezing and just deal with the wonky voices. Sorry, folks.
Dealers of the airlines have proudly supported the United States Marine Corps Reserves. This is a wonderful time to bring joy to children who are less fortunate. Trick-or-treating is simple. Just drop off a new unwrapped toy by December 17th to your closest hungry airlines. You'll be spreading joy and some extra holiday cheer to those who need most.
The second you said you were staying, I just lost all of that.
No! Okay, am I good again?
I think so. Target. It's
Hit and miss.
but like that was a really long, really animated sentence, and I could see your hand moving and everything. But it was like
Come on, tablet, behave yourself. This is ridiculous. And it's because, like, for some weird reason, when I'm in the bonus room, I only get 2 bars on the tablet. And everywhere else in the house, I can get, like, full service, no problem. And I don't know why that is.
There must be something like maybe there's a metal layer in the wall or something blocking
I don't
between
know.
it.
Maybe when I get back, I'll see if I can do the show in my room with the tablet and see if that's better.
Maybe.
I get this hard.
Life is better when we celebrate together.
It seems to be It might be a connection issue because it seems to be either picture or sound.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll get this working, folks. We're the unprofessional fangirls for nothing.
It's true.
Was that, like, with Lethal Weapon, it's a remake of a TV show. And yet, I still feel like if they had taken it and given it a completely different name, changed the characters' names, but left everything else the exact, absolutely the same, the show would still be awesome.
I think that that's
You
true.
know, it's
But at the same time, it's still true to the movie.
the source material, yeah. Exactly.
But like last year, they had the one that was a remake of the Jackie Chan movie,
Oh yeah.
and that one was too close. It wasn't being
Yeah, they
itself.
didn't change enough. Yeah, they didn't change enough for that to work.
Yeah, and that like the guy that they got for the Chris Tucker character was not as bombastic, but he was trying to do it, and it wasn't its own thing enough. They didn't hit that sweet spot with a remake that these three other
Like what
shows
they're
seem to have
doing.
done.
Yeah. I keep forgetting actually that Frequency is a remake of a movie. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. At this point, it doesn't even matter. Like they're so diverged that it's definitely its own show, even when they're making questionable choices and making us worry about them.
And then it's like I go and look at the other show that we all love that's a remake, and it's amazing too. And it's like, come on, people! Not all remakes are bad.
That one too, like it diverged after the pilot, basically. Like,
I mean, it has been homage back to the original series, and there's been homage in Lethal Weapon. I've seen homage to MacGyver, the original MacGyver, in MacGyver, and I don't know if I've really seen any in Frequency, except beyond the fact that she's talking to her dad in past.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the Frequency movie in so long. I wouldn't know it if I saw it.
It's like with that show we love and Lethal Weapon, I grew up watching all that stuff repeatedly because my mom was a huge Mel Gibson, Brad Pitt fan.
Yeah.
So it was like we watched movies all the time. She loved Bruce Willis. I'm just waiting for the Die Hard show that would be interesting.
And with Frequency, there's not a lot of people filling in the gaps for me. Like there's not a lot of articles about it. There's not a lot of people talking about where it connects to the source material when I'm tweeting. There's less of that meta text stew around it. So
Weapon, I grew up with Lethal Weapon, so I see the ties, I see the crossovers, I see the homages that come out in the episodes, just like I did. I grew up with, I was 14, 15 in 1996 when that came out. But I went and saw that in theaters because my mom loved Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis. There was no way in hell we were not going to go see that in theaters.
mm-hmm.
And it's like I grew up with all that, and I can sit there and it's like in season 1 he's wearing the shirt from the airport, and there was other stuff. There's been other stuff too, and it's like it's not coming to mind. The shirt is the big one that came to mind, that he's wearing the shirt that Bruce Willis is wearing in the airport, and Jennifer Goines is wearing the shirt that Jeremy Goines is wearing at Menland too, when we first see her and when we first see him in the movie. And it's like, I love that. I love that. It just to the original source material. Like the trailer on the beach. totally a homage in Lethal Weapon. That's totally a homage to the movies because that's where Riggs lived. Riggs lived in his trailer on the beach.
I'm so worried about his trailer on the beach because of what happened in the movies.
I know. I don't want it to happen.
But they're
Anyway.
taking their snippets of story and like different places than they happened in the movie series.
Yes, exactly.
But we're on MacGyver now, aren't we?
We're on MacGyver. Sorry, guys. We got a little. We're a little tangenty tonight. We apologize. No, not really, because this is what we do. We are rambly. I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm over here drawing while I talk because if I don't focus on something, I'm literally going to just like space out for some reason. That's how I feel tonight. So I'm like drawing horses and eyeballs because I can, and that's about all I know how to draw. And I found in drawing with a pencil, which is why earlier I was trying to draw on my face, folks. It's true. It is. It's very, very true. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, though, like the incident.
I want to know what the incident was. This is not buddies. This is not buddies, people. You all need to tell me what the incident was.
Well, they did say that there used to be a football field and there may or may not have been a small nuclear reaction there.
Yeah, I still need to know more. I need details, folks. Details.
Maybe we'll get a flashback episode.
But Mac, he said at the end that, he's going to try and get like a thing where he comes and talks to the class every year. So we get to see the cute little girl every year. Every season, he'll go back a day in his hometown.
That would be amazing.
And we get to watch a little amazing prodigy girl grow up and then she becomes a team member. That's what I want.
Well, in Scorpion, one of the team members is 11 because so
hey, she could join the team sooner.
He's the son of one of the other characters, so why not?
Yeah,
we can have a little girl genius.
We could,
especially with her mechanically inclined father. That's got to be useful.
Yeah, definitely. And her dad is obviously very good with the mechanically inclined stuff. And obviously he was a driver too. He did the race car driving.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to have them join the team. I want everybody to join the team.
I always, on every show I watch, I want everyone to keep their strays. And one of these days, there's going to be a show where they do keep their strays, and it's going to be my favorite show for my entire life.
Agreed. Same here. The show Due South was very notorious for keeping their stray characters because they would write the most randomly ridiculous characters into the show, and then they would just keep showing up in random places. We had Mort the Mortician. We had Turnbull, who was one of the main character Benton's fellow Mounties, and these characters are literally written in oh, we just need a mortician, so here he is. And we slowly throughout the 2 seasons that Mort was in the show, the mortician guy, we found out he was in Auschwitz and all this stuff about it. And they just these little stray characters were never meant to be anything, ended up having big old backstories.
That's fantastic. I want that. I want that on all my shows.
Prime Minister of Canada. And then he got hit by his campaign bus.
But all these shows where they're trying to save the world, it makes sense to have a bigger team full of people with diverse skills.
It does. I agree.
And keep all your weirdos. Or in X-Files, they were constantly meeting people. They could have been building a network of useful people all across the country.
Yes, I agree.
They sort of do that in Supernatural, but not as much as I would like.
No, because there's some characters that they had early on that I wish they hadn't killed off because like they'd be so useful now.
Right? Like in the Dresden Files books, he keeps his strays. They come back, they work into the story, they do stuff in the background. Dresden. And
Yeah, a lot of
if the show had worked, that would have been so great.
the Dexter books, they were the same way. He kept his strays, the people he saved each season from the big bad murderers.
Mm.
They stayed on as side characters.
That's the best.
I know, and it's like, why don't you keep that part in the book? It drives me nuts. Or in the show, sorry.
Like, I understand that more actors means more money. It makes your show very expensive, but come on.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It is like we need more fun little side characters. Like that's why I love to do South so much. Is like you had your core cast of characters. You had detectives Vecchio Kowalski, who were the separate. Season 1 and 2 was Vecchio, and then seasons 2 and 3 were Dick Kowalski. They switched detectives halfway through the season, and then you had Frasier, who was the Mountie. Yes, dog is named after a Mountie. And then, then beyond that, you had like the other cops in the precinct. There was 2 other cops in the precinct, the Duck Boys, and you had Lieutenant Welsh, and then you had the civilian aide, who in the first 2 seasons was one character, and in the second 2 seasons was the Detective Vecchio's little sister, and she was Francesca is so much fun. Francesca, actually, both Francesca and Detective Vecchio were on 12 Monkeys.
Huh.
Yeah,
I wonder if they film in the same place. They probably film in the same place.
I have a theory that Terry Matalas watched Due South at some point because there are references in 12 Monkeys that makes me think of episodes of Due South.
Maybe. He is really good at taking his influences and weaving them into it natively.
Mm-hmm. Like there was a whole episode of Due South that took place in a mental institute, and you wanted to stay away from the blue room. And then in 12 Monkeys, there's a deleted scene where they talk about blue uniforms.
Mm.
And I'm like, mental institute, we're in blue uniforms. Yeah. I tie all that together.
Although sometimes they have references they didn't mean. Like this past season when the storm started, they were calling them anomalies. Mm-hmm. And they were sort of like time collapsing places, which is what they call them in Primeval.
Yes.
But when Susan asked him on Twitter, he said that he'd never seen that show.
Yeah, so, but he also told me he'd never seen Due South, so I don't know.
He's referencing stuff he hasn't seen yet.
I got Danny to watch Due South, and she should have said the show was a trip. It's a trip. Yeah, it's a fun show, though. I own it on DVD. I watch it like once a year.
I need to own more shows on DVD.
You should look into Due South. It's a good show.
Most of the shows that I owned, I wound up selling that time when I needed to pay rent.
I've done that. I've done that. Jackass, the entire series. No, wait, it wasn't Jackass. It was the Batman the Animated Series special edition that my fiance at the time had bought me for Christmas a few years before, and we needed rent money, and somebody offered me like $300 for it. So I was like, here you go.
Like, yeah.
I need rent money more than I need an animated series of a TV show that I won't be able to watch if I don't have an apartment.
Okay. We are almost done.
We are almost done. Matt, back to MacGyver. Wrap up here, MacGyver, and then we can talk about all our feels for Lethal Weapon.
I don't know. Like, it was just so cute. It was so cute. And it was a little bit sad.
Yeah, because like MacGyver talked about losing his mom and how he felt so lost when he lost her, and he was telling this to the little girl, and the little girl has just lost her mom. It's like,
I know.
are you dying?
Nobody died. It was MacGyver.
Nobody died. Nobody died yet.
Yes.
Remarkably few people have died on that show, considering the track record of most of the shows we watch.
I know. It's like the only show where people don't die like once an episode.
And if they do die, then it's a trick, like with Nikki.
Yeah. Yep.
Natural. It's
Joe and
MacGyver.
Beth are-
There's nothing magical there.
No magic.
But that thing that he did with the elephant toothpaste, I've seen videos of that, and I really want to do it someday for myself because it looks cool.
Like done outside because I wouldn't want to make my house.
Yeah, outside. And then he used it to take out the car at the end.
Uh-huh.
That was
That
like
was
the best.
I think my ringer might not be on. Your ringer's not on? Yeah, we'll know in a second.
And then it goes.
I guess my ringer was on.
They're such nerds.
They are. And I hate to do it. It's like, I love to do it, but I hate to do it at the same time, but I totally ship Jack and Mac.
Well, they're explicitly setting it up like those two guys who were literally actually in love in that one episode.
I know, and I'm like, shifty eyes.
They're drawing actual straight like elves.
They really are, and it's like, come on, somebody be brave enough to do the two male characters together. Because we have plenty of female characters together. I'm sorry, no offense to anybody, but I want some male characters. I want main male characters that are gay and in love with each other.
It's so fun. It would also be unlikely.
Yeah, it's very unlikely because nobody, unfortunately, a lot of people would not watch it.
Yeah, they would just like bail, and they'd be all mad because they got invested, and then it turned out to be gay.
Yeah, it was like, what was it? I think it's Queer as Folk. It's like the only show that really actually had male characters who were gay.
Because it started out from the very beginning with you knowing they were gay.
Exactly. Instead of, leading up to it, which I would be fine with as well. I am fine. I really I have a need for main lead male characters to be gay for each other. I just need it. It needs to be on my TV.
I have a deep soul need for someone to solve a stupid love triangle, one choose, and having them just be a poly triad or whatever. Like, just keep all of them. Everybody's in love. That's what I need.
Like that's what we do on Girl Meets World, because we have this stupid triangle between Riley, Maya, and Lucas, and just like, okay, all three of you can just be together because Riley and Maya totally love each other, no doubt, and they both love Lucas, and Lucas loves them, so just be together. But it's Disney, and Disney ain't gonna do that. It's Disney.
I tried so hard not to get emotionally involved in that show because they're all like 9, but like,
oh no, I'm
so good.
Come back to house sit because the girl I house sit for, she records it, and so I can go and just like watch what I have seen yet of the new season.
I saw the first season like every episode 4 times because it was on in the afternoon when the kids were watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I freaking love that show. And I lost track of it because they moved what time of day it was on, and then the boys changed what channel they were watching.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
The
sometimes I
first
get to
two
watch it
seasons
when
are
I'm
on Netflix, and it's like I didn't want to wait for the third season to hit Netflix, so I watch it when I was watching it when I house sat. Like I literally watched the entire first half of the third season while I was at the house sitting place. 'Cause I don't want to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch TV. And then I'm like, oh, she has all of Girl Meets World. I'm gonna watch this.
and it's so good. When the first season
catch-
started, my brother actually got followed on Twitter by the official tweeters
Oh yeah.
because he talked about it so much
Oh,
before it even started. Because we both really liked the original show, and we were so excited.
Is. And it's like I was talking about it with a friend of mine because I grew up watching Boy Meets World. I grew up with Corey Topanga and Sean, and I loved the series. Loved it. It was like my favorite show. I watched it every Friday on TGIF, and I cried with that show. I laughed at that show. I grew up and learned life lessons with that show. That was my God. What show came for that? Wonder Years. Which oddly was Ben Savage's older brother, Fred Savage.
It's true. They're a good family for coming of age.
They are. They really are.
Yeah, and I just really like how they're handling the callbacks. Like, it's obviously in Maya's show, but their parents are still actual parts of the show. They're not just like standing in the corner going, Riley, like a lot of sitcom parents are.
Yeah, but you still have background stories with Corey and Topanga, and then you got Sean,
flashbacks,
who married Riley's or Maya's mom, and I was like so happy with that. I was
so happy with that.
So I was like, yes, Sean finally gets to be happy.
No, and that makes Maya family.
Yeah, Maya's now family, and it's just like, I really hope this show gets another season or two at least. I mean, I doubt we're going to get as many.
Or 7.
I'd love to see these kids go all the way through high school and college. I did with Boy Meets World.
And also, Maya wanted to go to college just so that she could catch up with Corey's little brother. So just let her get that far.
Yeah, we need to. We need Endgame because they have said it on TV that Maya and Josh are Endgame.
Well, she has decided so, and I want to see it happen.
Yeah, it needs to be officially. She needs to be a Lawrence, not Lawrence. Matthews. Lawrence is
That's another show.
That's not another show. That's actually the right show. Matthew Lawrence was Sean's brother.
Yeah.
Jack, who's now an evil corporate.
But me and my brother decided that show, we call it Brain Sorbet, because so many shows are so serious and so dark and so like gritty and everything. And then you watch
Girl Meets World,
and it's like it just cleans out your brain with its sunshiny goodness.
It's so Riley makes everything. It's like funny. I even catch myself doing Maya's little like she does to Lucas, and it's like, oh my god, I'm doing that.
I know. I'm kind of hoping that Lucas winds up with Smackle.
That would be really interesting, and I'm actually really okay with Farkle
because it would be unexpected.
It would be. I would be Farkle and Riley, to be honest.
Last time I saw an episode, it looked like they were setting up Farkle and Riley.
Yeah.
Because if she winds up with Lucas, then it's basically the same thing as what happened to her parents, and they need different stories. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Lethal Weapon now?
Yes. Let's talk about all our feels about Lethal Weapon. This This is why we are unprofessional fangirls, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about stuff that makes no sense in context of the show.
It's more fangirl, less professional. And once you start fangirling, you can fangirl over anything.
Exactly, yes.
Ugh. But the feels, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No wonder Riggs hates Christmas.
We opened Lethal Weapon with him flashing back to his wife.
Again.
But it was a kind of a happy flashback. It wasn't her telling him to come kill himself so they could be together.
For the first time, it was an actual memory.
Yeah, it was memory, not him just thinking she wants me to die so I can be with her. And the scene where he goes with his wife to the family Christmas dinner and he's wearing that god-awful Christmas sweater.
And then her dad is like, you got him to wear the sweater? Like, this is a thing they do.
Apparently this is a thing they do. He got to wear the sweater and he wore it and that was awesome.
You can't be accepted if you don't wear the sweater.
Right.
That teeny tiny tree that he had in his trailer.
I know, it was so cute. Well, room.
What?
At the very beginning, they went into a whole room together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with his wife, I guess, at that point. I was very confused by that opening scene, to be honest, because it was like it was a flashback, but was he already married to her? Were they role-playing? I wasn't sure what was going on.
I think that's just how they met. Like, that's literally just how they met, is how I read it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then she needed somewhere to go because she missed her flight, so she went home with him.
Makes sense, and he had a shoddy little hotel room.
And there was, like, nothing in it. There was, like, not even any furniture.
Yeah.
Except maybe, was that the same couch that is in his trailer?
Yeah, I think it was.
Or one similar enough, anyway.
Yeah.
He's freaking stewing in his in his sadness. I wish that the psychiatrist had been in this episode because he really could have used her.
He really could have used her this week, I agree, because this was a very hard time for him. And I was so grateful to Murtaugh's wife for being like, he'd be with his wife and child this year.
Yeah. Like, it would have been the baby's first Christmas.
Really been the baby's first Christmas because she told him on Christmas that she was pregnant. She gave him the pregnancy test as a Christmas present, and I just like,
I know. Cough 12 monkeys.
Oh, I was like dying while I was watching this episode, people. It was horrible. I mean, it was wonderful, but horrible at the same time.
It was so happy and so sad and so pathetic. And I'm gonna start calling this show the Riggs Kills My Heart show. Like,
Riggs, I literally wrote in my notes that I want to hug Riggs. I need to hug Riggs right now. And I want to tweet Clayton Crawford and be like, I need to hug you.
like, I really just need to hug Riggs. Like,
yeah, Riggs for 5 seconds so I can hug him because I really, really need to hug him because he hurts my heart.
These mid-season finales, though, man, like, that's when they pull out the feels, and that's when my poor battered heart is just not going to survive until the new year at this rate.
Because we had the whole scene where he's in the trailer by himself, and he's got a gun, and he literally, it looks like he's like seconds away from shooting himself, and then Murtaugh shows up, and it's like, oh god.
It's 12. I ain't gonna miss the next season of 12 Monkeys. Don't worry about it.
That's on to July for you folks.
But yeah, like I think Murtaugh's mutant power is to know exactly when he needs to randomly show up and annoy Riggs.
Yeah, if he was a mutant, that would be his mutant ability. I agree completely. Because he showed up at the perfect time, like every time he was needed, and it was great. And then like his family, he's like they're after Eddie, and Eddie's playing mind games with Riggs, like I killed your wife, and I kind of wonder if there was something there, because it's like I know Grandpa at the end said you weren't important in Texas and you're not important now, but the fact that the Grandpa actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, they totally had something to do with it, and if important, that means either she was or her father was.
Yeah, exactly.
Because her dad is someone important.
Yeah, her dad's like, chief, not the chief, but like he has something to do with the police force, the commissioner.
Yeah, he's something. He's some high up in the thing, or she is. We know very little about her personally,
really
except for how she connects to Riggs.
Texas.
So like. That was the biggest thing. I got to the end of the episode and I was like, shit.
Right? It was like, oh my god, no. I can't wait 4 weeks. I think it was 4 weeks. I swear that's what's his name said. Hold on, I'll tell you, because he tweeted it this afternoon when the show would be back.
Yeah, it's something like that. Because we've got...
Because somebody tweeted tonight. January 4th, we'll be back.
Yeah, that's super soon.
It's not a huge wait. It's not a huge wait, thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I've been waiting on Blind Spot already for like 3 weeks. Like it went off so early. By the time it comes back, it's going to be like 2 months. They were like, we're going to bring down America.
Give it a couple weeks. It's like, what's it called? Walking Dead. It came back in October, and it just hit its season finale this week, last Sunday. And I'm like, no.
They always split their seasons, though, which makes the season feel even shorter than it already is, because then it's only like 5 or 6 episodes and then a break.
2 separate seasons, and it's annoying.
Yeah. They don't do that thing on the DVDs, though. Like, sometimes when shows have split seasons, you have to buy them separately on DVD, and that's really annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this whole episode is so painful, and I wanted to cry like so many times for poor Riggs. Like, he goes into his storage, and there's the baby's crib, and it was like, yeah.
And then he had Scorsese looking at the file, which he couldn't even open.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I have Jonathan Fernandez his Twitter page open because I went to get the date, and my friend Craig Gerber, he's a voice actor. He does one of the Jacquins on Elena of Avalor. He's
I love Elena of Avalor.
I do too. Barbara's obsessed with it.
I was so mad. We were shopping and we were looking in the toy section, and they have like this box of all the Disney princesses with like 11 dolls in it, and Elena is all by herself in her own box, and I'm so mad.
Well, she's so new. They want to sell her by herself for a while.
I know, but I'm still mad. She's a princess. Put her with the other princess.
Oh, I agree.
In there too, and put Sophia.
Oh my God, I saw Moana over the weekend. So good.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm so upset
It's good. You'll love it. I promise.
I mean, I have loved all of them, so I wouldn't be surprised. Is it like is the advertising like it is with Brave and Frozen, where you have no idea what the actual story is actually about?
Yeah, it was. 'Cause I had no clue. I had no clue going into it what the story was about. So it was fun.
With Brave and with Frozen, I never would have guessed that the story was actually about a mother-daughter and two sisters. Like, I never would have guessed from the ads
Yeah,
about not telling you anything.
which is awesome because I like that.
Well, yeah, but like, there's a point where you don't even know what you're going into at all. And I think that was the problem with Brave, because like it took a really long time to make a lot of money because people didn't know what the story was about.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Like, it had to wait until word of mouth caught on, because there was like no indication that it was about her and her mom, or that her mom was a bear, or that anything had happened other than, if you could change your fate. Just like that.
Just like that.
With Kelly MacDonald, who I love.
Yes.
She has made out with my number one future husband.
Ooh, fancy. David Tennant.
David Tennant is my number one future husband.
Yay. But yeah,
Tom Hiddleston
I like the weapon.
Lowercase number one. There's an uppercase number one future husband and a lowercase number one future husband. And Tom Hiddleston is slightly more likely only because he's not already married for the last 10 years.
Yeah, there's that, you know.
Oh my god, my face is getting really sore.
You see Doctor Strange, right? So we are going to discuss it after the break.
Yes, we're going to do a Doctor Strange episode.
All right, awesome. We could probably do that one maybe late, like not a Tuesday night show, but a later in the week show. I'm house sitting and have nothing to do.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah. But then, like, we're at the airport, and when he shot the nephew, and I thought they shot.
Yeah,
I thought they shot Riggs for a second. I'm like, no.
I think we were supposed to think that, but then they just left him there.
Literally thought they were gonna go to like the end credits with the not knowing who got shot. I thought that was what they were gonna pull.
Again.
Yeah, but they didn't, so I was really, really happy about that.
No, they did a better thing. They had the line about how you're not that important.
Yeah, they opened up the whole, there's something there. We know now that there is something there.
Yeah, like that kid, what was his name, Eddie? He was a freaking tool, and he totally deserved whatever he got.
He got shot.
But his uncle was cold, like just flat out cold.
Like, oh, we can't let Eddie give up that information, kill him. That is literally what that move was. It was a, Riggs is going to kill him. You're threatening to kill him. He's going to spill out whatever information. Kill him so that he can't give that information out, which is why I know the guy is lying. There's something. He had something to do with Riggs's wife's death.
Totally. Him and his whole cartel had something to do with it. And I think he wasn't lying when he said that important, which means that Miranda or her dad or something else connected to her was important.
Important enough to warrant Miranda's death.
Yeah.
And I
hope it was her that was important.
That would be fun. I don't want to lie because of something her father did.
Yeah. Because then she has no
I mean, I don't want
agency.
her to have died. Yeah. I didn't want her to have died anyways because well, there'd be no show if she hadn't died, to be truthful, but it's just, yeah, I want Riggs to be happy.
Well, he will be eventually. We just have to get there. We have
there.
to keep talking about it to force them to keep renewing it.
We will talk about it like we did with that other show we got them to renew.
By sheer force of will.
We did it with the other show. Literally, Sci-Fi said the only reason they renewed was because of fan base.
I think these days, good shows and so many channels that, like, fan base is the only reason to renew a show, unless it's one of the 3 shows a year that's going to get ridiculously high ratings.
Yeah. There really is no reason for most shows to cancel a show because, like, Sci-Fi, you have all these hours in the day that you can put your crappy movies on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I still think if I was in charge of Sci-Fi, I would be finding new investors to get more money so that I could save shows that were dropped by other channels.
Yeah,
because there's so many good shows that pop up on network that just can't support science fiction, but there's a whole channel for it that could be saving them.
They could just run 24 hours a day Sci-Fi TV shows.
When the channel first started, they just bought up the syndication rights of old shows.
Because many shows I got into because of the original Sci-Fi Channel program, but then they stopped doing that, producing their little cruddy movies. But it feels like they're kind of heading back more towards the TV show genre now because we've got all these shows.
Well, they're definitely, whoever's in charge now has made a very clear statement that this is what they're doing. They're coming back to science fiction. They're coming back to original programming. They're coming back to high quality scripted.
Yes.
Job. They renewed everything, I think. Maybe not Hunters.
Yeah, I don't think Hunters got renewed. I could be wrong though.
If they did, I hadn't heard it, but almost everything got renewed.
Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, what's it? Legends of Tomorrow needs to be canceled." I said, "Well, that's one good thing we have about the CW. It never cancels anything."
Very rarely. They canceled Containment, but Containment was horrible.
Yeah, Containment was.
As I keep saying. As I keep saying.
I didn't even watch it. I just knew it was going to be horrible from the previews.
Oh my god, it was so bad. It should not have been 13 episodes. Like, 6 would have been plenty.
Well, there
was not enough story for 13.
But
it was crazy.
Yeah, oh, and I love the little side story background on Lethal Weapon with Murtaugh fighting with his neighbor over the Christmas decorations.
And the neighbor kept crashing the grid.
Yes.
Thing that in their favor, which was like the best thing ever.
It was. I was like, yes, that was awesome.
Murtaugh's wife is not no shrinking violet. Like,
no, she's not. I'm like, that makes me happy because I hate it when they make the female characters. Okay.
She's
sorry, Barbie.
She's tough. She can handle having a cop for a husband for the last 20 years.
And she can handle being held hostage. She did that real damn well. I loved it. The son looking out the front door and seeing the Ferrari. You got me a Ferrari?
He's like, hell no, I didn't get you a Ferrari. What do you think this is?
I know. I was like, yes. But the little feud, and then he stole the neighbor's reindeer, and he took it to Riggs's place and plugs it into his trailer and himself the trailer.
I know.
I was like, oh my god.
I was so glad that they went to his house. I was like, why didn't you invite him to yours? But then they went to his house, and it wound up being more
There
like
was to it.
it like normalized his life a little bit.
Yeah, and she's like, does your oven work? I didn't know I had an oven.
Right?
Loved it.
He probably eats from the food truck up the road like every day. Or from the coin machines at the office. That's like all I've ever seen him eating.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to hug Riggs for like a year and a day longer.
He really needs to be hugged, though.
And then the little subtle thanks there at the end from Riggs to Murtaugh, that was just, it was a mouth. And it was just so perfect. It was so cute. It was like, he's just like, thanks. And Murtaugh's like, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just,
Because they're
yeah.
buds.
And
They take care of each other.
Bros. They are bros. That is a bromance I will ship.
They are such bros. And it's like the good sense of the word bros, too.
Yeah, it's not even the
It's like sometimes you just need like your perfect partner.
and I think they found it in each other, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think we covered everything.
I love that Murtaugh's wife just accepts it. Like from the very first episode, she's like, "Yep, you're the partner. You're part of the family now."
And she said too that in that episode, you're family. That's why we're here. And I'm just like, thank you. Thank you
know.
to the you guys are amazing. We love you.
It's the best. Oh my god. Wherever they trained to figure out how to write such feelsy shows, they need to go and pat those people on the back.
Yeah, they do. You guys are amazing, and we love you, and we love your show, and we're going to keep watching it, and we're going to keep reviewing it every week as best we can. Barring illness in February, because it's coming.
It's gonna suck, but we'll figure it out.
It's gonna suck. In February. In February, after I post it, if I have enough money, I think I'm going to take this computer I've been using and see if I can get it fixed.
Cool.
See, I may not have a computer for a little bit. I'll have a tablet, but no computer, because we don't have a spare computer right now.
Right.
To get on Black Friday, but we decided not to.
I just need a proper computer. This netbook is.
Yeah.
But one day. But my headache is getting really bad, and I've reached the end of my notes.
I reached mine because they're on the floor. Because I randomly decided I was going to color my mouse pad. I do that. I'm weird that way. So that's the end of tonight's episode. There will not be an episode on Sunday or Tuesday of next week, but we may do one later in the week next week to talk about Doctor Strange. We'll get to you on that date when we've.
Well, next week is Christmas week.
Christmas. Yeah. All right. So we're completely.
So I don't know.
Next week. Hold on. Let me pull up my calendar so I can look at that as well. All right. So yeah, next week is completely out. So there will be no show next week, but we could probably do a show on the 27th.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
That'll be after.
Yeah, after Christmas. That'll be 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, so the 27th we could do that, and we could do that as our Doctor Strange show, and then maybe the 3rd, the 3rd would be 3rd. We could do the Star Wars show.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, and then maybe we can have a book show in on the Sunday after I get back from house sitting. Because I do want to do a show where we just talk books. We need to do one.
We should.
And then we can, because that'll give me a chance to watch all the shows, because I'm not going to be able to watch much while I'm house sitting.
Yeah. And like stuff is only barely going to be coming back by then anyway, so
yeah. So we do book show. I think I have Supergirl is coming back the 16th, so I am assuming everything else will be coming back after that week.
probably, or the week after.
Yeah.
Really premiered.
Yep. But yeah.
I drank a whole cup of tea and a whole cup of water, and I really need to pee now.
I drank all of this, so I feel that. All right, so that's it for tonight. We'll get dates on our next shows when we're going to discuss Doctor Strange. We may have a host. We may not. It all depends on how she's feeling Tuesday night. So we'll see you on the flip side. We'll see you after Christmas. Have a happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, and or Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's in there too, isn't it? Just have a happy
Kwanzaa
holidays.
and Yule and Human Light Day and Eid and I looked it up. There's literally 21 holidays in the second half of December.
Oh my god, that's awesome. But yeah, you all have a happy holidays, and we'll see you after Christmas. Bye.
Bye.